Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. Let's take a look at whatever the symbols may be and whatever the storyline may hold. Ooh, okay. So we're rocking the High Priestess first thing here. High Priestess energy for me brings in the blend of Cancer, Pisces, and Virgo. We have somebody who could have like pinstriped wallpaper, or they're wearing like a pinstriped suit, or their couch is pinstriped. I'm just noticing that immediately behind her. We've got, that obviously the moon is always heavily associated here with our high priestess, and we have somebody who could be quite the oracle or the empath. In particular, I picture somebody who has like a piece of jewelry that's moonstone or is drawn to things that look like moons. Maybe they have a picture of a moon, a sticker. I'm seeing a sticker of a moon on somebody's water bottle, strangely. Um, and it's a full moon. It's not, I see two things. I see a sticker that has like the entire lunar cycle, and then I see a full moon. Not so much emphasis on the crescent moons, though. Full moon. So to me, that would speak of somebody who's more attuned to like releasing something or getting full illumination on something that has previously been hidden. So this could be about secrets being like a character is saying, wait a second, I think I just got a download. I feel like I understand somebody's secret. Looking at somebody for a moment and just having it hit like a ton of bricks, like, wait a minute, they didn't tell me this, but I just recognized something. Like I'm going to use this as an example. Um, if you like work with somebody every day, and then one day they walk in and you look over and it just strikes you, you're like, whoa, they look like they've got a migraine, or they look, like they're just, there's something about, is it their pallor? Is it about the way they're walking? What is it that I see in them that tells me they're dealing with something that, is upsetting them? For example, I'm not saying that that's what the secret is or that's what she's noticing. It doesn't have to be anything negative. It could be something super positive. Could be like, wow, I just noticed that person looked at me like they were looking at me, like I'm a snack. I just now realized they're attracted to me. It could be a really great message. We literally have a Seven of Swords. There's that big old moon back there. Somebody's been trying to keep a secret. Somebody's been trying to hide or lie, but the secret's coming clear. And it's so funny because I said it's not the crescent moon that I see. This is a full moon, but if we step back, you notice that it's almost like at an eclipse, lunar eclipse, where we can only see a sliver of it, even though the full moon is there. And we have this Nine of Wands. Okay, so we may have the story of a feminine who is suddenly recognizing that a masculine is really kind of hurting right now. He's strong, he's powerful, but even strong and powerful people, sometimes the world can get really heavy for, and I'm picturing that she's looking at somebody and it's striking her like, oh, he's acting fine, but I can see something is off in him. Now, it doesn't have to be a masculine and a feminine. Please bear in mind, I don't actually read for genders, but, and I didn't catch this at first. You notice he's got, like a mask on that's hiding everything but his face, because we even have like a drape here in front of his mouth. I'm going to say this is a person who does not say what's bothering them. By the way, this could be somebody who wears like a mask, maybe like surgical mask, or maybe they ride a motorcycle, because I'm seeing a motorcycle helmet right now as well, something where there's like the face shield. Or this just represents that very few people do they let see the real them. You can't hide stuff from a high priestess, though. She can see what other people don't see. And I feel like she's looking into somebody's eyes and she's seeing what's going on behind them. She's seeing what they hide. And it's that things are pretty heavy for them right now. They're feeling either frustrated, stressed. She may even recognize that somebody pissed this person off because they feel like they're under somebody else's, like, kind of confining control. This could be anything from like she notices he's in a bad mood and she's realizing like the feeling of like a restlessness, like, like caged tiger. I'm literally picturing somebody's house cat could be stomping around wanting to go out right now, wanting, like, let me out. I know I'm only 10 pounds, but I'm still, I hail from, these huge jungle cats. I am an apex predator trapped in a 10-pound body. You shall do as I say. I kind of feel I'm not making light of the power of this masculine who seems to be feeling confined right now and frustrated and wounded, but she is very intuitive and is sensing that on him. He could have a unique way of dressing. He could have, because here he's got like some, like a vest that has some, little, I don't know if it's like some buttons or some kind of, zippers, something that kind of makes it like more stylish. He's got kind of a scarf around his neck. He's got a few extra like baubles, and it's much more ornate. Very, like his arms come across as very strong. That could represent that he carries a lot of things, with him. Or he could actually have like very strong, I mean, very strong upper body no matter what, whether it's like visible muscle or like sinewy strength, or if we're talking about his emotional strength. But it's interesting because what he's lying or hiding about is just how restless and kind of frustrated he is. We have got the Seven of Wands, and he's holding on with one hand here. And the guides are flooding around him, telling him, you got this, you can get through this. He's either big frustrated by somebody or something in his life, but it's like he's got to keep his cool. Seven is a divine number. He'll get through this, but she may be an agent of assistance to him right now. Hang on. What is your role? High Priestess, what is your role? By the way, I'm picturing somebody has like level or blinds that don't close all the way and they always have to reach up and like put one of them down or something, flip one or two of them down that never kind of, when you roll the little thing and they all should go down or all should open up. And I'm picturing like one or two always get stuck and you have to like, fold them down. I'm also seeing like somebody walking and there's like a grate or something. Be careful walking your dog around one of those. We've got this Ace of Wands. Her role in this is to like give him the, you got this kind of energy, because we have a phoenix rising from the ashes. We see this hand reaching out with, I'm going to say, so that, let me pause for a second and say that Ace of Wands is passion and creativity, but it almost feels like instead of passing a torch to him, it's like she is handing him, so weird, but I'm picturing somebody handing someone the, like, a snack just when they're really hangry, I'm in a bad mood. I'm, no, I'm about to say something rude, and it's like, here, have a protein bar instead. I can see that you need some nourishment, and then you'll kind of cool down a little. Or maybe she needs to reach out and give him some kind of encouragement. Never underestimate the power of like, telling somebody point blank, this is incredible. You're amazing. Everything that you're doing right now, absolutely amazing. I wouldn't, like, I don't know how you do it. This is super impressive. Telling somebody that you recognize that what they're doing is requiring a lot of them and it's admirable. That sometimes can go such a long way to helping somebody be like, okay, so what I'm struggling against, or what I'm having to, stay calm and stay on track for, it can be like really exhausting sometimes. We can feel like, why am I even doing this? And then when we hear like words of not even just like support, but words of admiration or something, it can really reinforce like, okay, I will keep hanging in there. I will keep doing this. Because it kind of feels like he's pretty damn close to just being like, this is a lot of effort and I don't like what I'm getting back for it. In fact, it's a lot of grief that I'm getting back for it. like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel fun. And honestly, I'm kind of annoyed by all of this. This feels like too much of a struggle for what the payout is. And I think her possibly sensing his like frustration and then offering some kind of, support, some kind of kindness, some kind of, I just think that it's really gonna like lift him. Now, it could also be that she's downright attracted to him, and maybe she's going to tell him that as well. Sometimes we just feel unseen. This may be a masculine who feels pretty unseen, pretty unappreciated, pretty undervalued. And this is a feminine going, but he's so hot. Like, he's amazing. Like, he's a good guy. Damn, maybe I need to give him that flirt, tell him that I think he's hot, because this can be passion too. This can be her reaching out and being flirtatious with him. We do have a 10 of Cups. Maybe this is her realizing she needs to tell him point blank, look, you're what I would pick for a partner. Or if this is one of those situations where it's like, this is what you're doing is admirable. That's what would make any person see you as a great partner. It doesn't have to be necessarily that she is attracted to him, although in this storyline, I'm going to say I think she is. And I think she might just go ahead and spit it out. It doesn't have to be so overt. It could be handled in a really, like gentle way. But it's interesting that the secret that she is seeing is that he's kind of fed up with some things right now. And I don't know that she's ever like given him this. This is a huge compliment. Let's be honest. When a high priestess, first off, pays that much attention, picks up those energies, is tapped into your frequency, it's probably because she cares. But also, this high priestess sees him as like long-term material, happiness material, or maybe she's a psychic kind of energy and she's needing to give him that bout of reassurance of like, you do know that for everything that you've been struggling to do, there's going to be a payout for all this, right? That brighter days are ahead, or that you are earning amazing karmic brownie points and there is happiness ahead for you. Maybe it's just that she's seeing something he can't right now. I think it's that could be the message, is like she's recognizing somebody who's like a total diamond, and yet he's going through that high pressure time period, the thing that creates a diamond. Sometimes we meet people and it's like, they're so smart, they're working so hard, how come they're not more famous, or how come they're not more visible and more seen, how come more people aren't supporting them? They're so talented. And we want to walk up to those people and tell them, don't ever stop what you're doing. You are so amazing. You will have that breakthrough. You are raw talent, and like, you just touched everybody's heart in the room that just saw you or heard you, or witnessed your talent. It could be something like that. But here's the only reason I don't know that I want to go that route with it. It's because this is personal. And I feel like if a high priestess is saying, I am sensing that now is the time, I need to tell him point blank that I'm attracted to him. This is her saying something. Now, it could still be her saying something about like, your creativity is, fire. But I don't think it's just that. I think she has a personal interest in this masculine. I think she's attracted to him. I think Nine of Swords, she's had her own worries maybe about this. Wait, why has she been worried? I'm wondering if she's been afraid to reach out and tell him how she feels. Six of Cups. Okay, so this story is very specific. She's had an attraction for this masculine for a while. She's hemmed and hawed herself about whether or not she should say something. Should I make the first move? Should I reach out to somebody? Will that look thirsty, And I think she's kind of gone round and round in her mind, maybe had some sleepless nights, tried to like ward off, worrisome thoughts about this whole topic, because it does seem like for whatever reason she was like struggling in herself By the way, somebody could have red candles. I'm picturing literally like birthday candles or something. Um, but she was all worried about, you know, admitting that she's drawn to this person or wants to get to know him better. But I think seeing somebody who obviously she can see the signs of stress on them, she's like, you know what? It's not about me anymore. This is a great person. This is somebody who I should say this to him. I want to point this out. He's blind in this card, and she is not. And I'm wondering if it's like she can see something he can't about himself. And she's saying, you know what? I don't need to be stressed or worried about my own ego. Gosh, what if I tell him I'm interested in him and he's not interested in me? Right now, what I see is somebody who's stressed, somebody that's wonderful, somebody that's, doing his best to hang on, hang in there. But I need to tell him, get out of my own way, maybe out of my own ego. And I just need to tell him it's more important that he know that he's very appreciated, that he's seen in this beautiful light, because right now he cannot see himself in this light. And I really think that that's where, what an awesome, high priestess to say, I, I can't worry about whether or not I look foolish for, feeling attracted to him, which I don't know why she would anyway, right? Um, Look, if a high priestess likes you, that is like, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. That's a major arcana. That's super intuitive. Like, that is an amazing, and usually I will say this also about a high priestess. High priestesses are the deceptively sensual cards. So they always seem very, like oftentimes very covered in heavy robes, but they are incredibly sensual. But that is only for the people that they choose, to have a lover's bond with. So it's all like who they are behind closed doors, whole different, like wonderful, intimate, loving, sensitive, really like a depth of bonding from a high priestess. So if she's that attracted to somebody, like they're going to be very fortunate. She's going to be a very attentive partner to them. But this just feels like she's deciding it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to worry if I feel foolish. I'm going to reach out to them and tell them that I care about them. There's the pinstripes again, or the, I don't know if he's got like a jersey on or something that almost looks like a soccer field jersey, that's got the alternating blue and white stripes on it. That also makes me think of, the flag of Greece. Doesn't have to be, this really feels like soccer jersey to me. It doesn't have to be blue and white, but it looks like the stripes keep coming up in this. Um, I think it's the right time for this feminine. Somebody could see a double rainbow, by the way, that could be mostly her. But the kitchen knives, be careful if there's like a sink full of dishes and there's knives in there, reaching in, careful with that. Sorry, just another side note that was just standing out to me. But this is an interesting story because it's all about a feminine knowing that it's time that she reach out to a masculine that she obviously has a lot of warm feelings for. And it's like in this storyline, it's because he could use the support, the pick me up, the and the huge gift and huge, like kind of like feather in his cap that wow, this amazing person thinks that I'm amazing. It just feels very sweet. It feels very uplifting. So, all right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.